Since the time that most of us were young, we were always taught that we were brought to this world to make it a better place. Some of us want to be doctors, maybe we want to help those in poverty, or we want to see positive changes in the world. One of the changes that John Brown wanted to see was the end of slavery in the United States. And before the Civil War started, John Brown tried to steal 100,000 weapons from this armory right here. Welcome to Harpers Ferry. What's going on, you guys? Well, welcome to my channel. I'm Aman Luthra, and welcome to Harpers Ferry National Historical Park. It is a great day to go hiking, to explore some cool history, and see one of the most popular spots on the Appalachian Trail. So this place is protected by the National Park Service, which means you'll have to pay $20 to come here if you have your own vehicle. And you can either take a long trek into the town, or you can do what I'm gonna do, which is take the bus, because we're gonna hike the Maryland Heights Trail. So let's go. And it's also the place that was raided by John Brown in 1859. John Brown grew up in Ohio in a hardcore anti-slavery family. In 1837, he announced to the world that his goal was to abolish slavery forever. He started putting together his big plan in 1848 with his 5 sons to end slavery. In the early 1850s, John Brown and his sons tried to abolish slavery in Kansas and lost one of his sons in the fighting. But it wasn't until 1857 that John Brown started looking to end slavery on the East Coast, and Harpers Ferry was his first target. He started putting together his own personal army, which included slaves themselves. And finally, on the night of October 16, 1859, John Brown and his men raided Harpers Ferry. Some of his men were captured, but he and a few others were able to get by. Well, for just one day. As soon as the raid happened, the word spread and he was surrounded and captured by Robert E. Lee and his forces. Several of his men, including 2 of his sons, were lost in the raid. John Brown was found guilty of treason and murder, and on December 2nd, he was executed. His last words were, "I, John Brown, am now quite certain that the crimes of this guilty land will never be purged away but with blood." So even though the raid failed, it certainly ignited tensions between the North and South, which made it almost impossible to avoid the Civil War that started 2 years later. So while it may seem at first that John Brown's mission failed, the fact that it fueled a war that ultimately abolished slavery in the United States makes it seem like it was an indirect success. And I think John Brown's story is a good reminder that while we shouldn't kill people to achieve our goals, we should still fight for positive changes that we wish to see in the world. Maybe if it wasn't for John Brown, the Civil War would have never happened and the US would still have slaves today. What's a positive change that you would fight for? Start a discussion in the comments below. So now that you know about some of the crazy history in Harpers Ferry National Historical Park, you should also know about some of the great things that you can do here today, because there's so much to explore. Of course, I had to go hiking over here, and I'm actually on the Appalachian Trail right now. And we're gonna head towards the Maryland Heights Trail, and I've heard you can get really nice views of Harper Ferry from up there. So I'm really excited. Let's go. The Maryland Heights Trail is a path that takes you around some of the highest points around Harpers Ferry. There are 2 options that you can take on the trail. The red path is a 2.8 mile out and back, and the blue path is a 4.7 mile loop. The red path will take you straight to the overlook, but I decided to do the blue path to explore as much as possible. You won't find any big open views on the blue path, but you will find a lot of signs where you can read about some history. The path is right on the border between the North and South from the Civil War, and Maryland was considered to be a part of the Union, so there's a lot of old sites where the Union had rifles and cannons to fire off enemies they saw from the South. So this is not the best overlook on the trail, but it is the highest point. And because of that, this is where a bunch of Union soldiers built a stone fort to hold off the Confederacy. Just a friendly reminder, you guys, in the hot summer months like June and July, there's gonna be a lot of ticks out, and I've already seen a ton on this trail. So just be mindful of ticks. Please do not get bitten by one. Also be careful, you guys, that there is a lot of poison ivy on this trail, so be careful where you step. When you finish the blue trail, you hop back on the red trail that takes you to the overlook. The red trail doesn't have as much history to read, but it's a shorter option if you just want to get the view. From the overlook, you can see the 3-line border between Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland. You can also see the Shenandoah River flowing into the Potomac River. And of course you get a great shot of the town as well. These are the little things that you just appreciate. It's awesome up here. Sometimes you can also see peregrine falcons from the overlook. They are the fastest birds on the planet, as they can reach dive speeds of up to 240 miles per hour to catch their prey. But back in the years after World War II, peregrine falcons almost went extinct because of an agricultural pesticide called DDT. DDT thins the eggshells of peregrines and other birds. And because of that, a lot of the shells could not hatch because the birds couldn't survive while they were still inside. Luckily, DDT was banned in the US in 1972, and peregrine falcons plus a lot of other birds came back. Peregrines reside on the Maryland side cliffs and all along the Appalachian Trail. And they are an important reminder that we need to be more conscious of how our actions and the products that we use can affect the populations of birds, animals, and the environment. Honestly, if I could be any animal, I would probably be a peregrine falcon. What animal would you be? Comment down below. Well, I had a really fun time here at Harpers Ferry. There's a lot of hiking trails, a lot of history, and so many cool things to do here. So definitely come here sometime. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe down below. New videos are posted every Friday, either an adventure like this one or a topic about climate change. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next amazing adventure. See ya!